What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Several different things to go over with you today, as well as several different stimulus items to talk about for you, with you here on the. What should we start calling this? The It's Jimmy Show? I don't know. It's Jimmy Show. I don't know, but this show is going to be a good one. We got lots to discuss, and let's jump right in. Don't forget to hit the like button for us, and here we go. Okay, first story comes from a longtime viewer, Candy Olson, who brought this to my attention that scientists may have actually found a cure for cancer. I know, pretty amazing news.
Promising news in cancer research this morning, a sign that a vaccine may not be so far out of reach. Stanford researchers injected a combination of two immune boosters directly into tumors in mice. The vaccine destroyed the tumor, and then it moved on to find other identical cancers, eventually eliminating all traces of the cancer from the animal's body. It was repeated in 90 other mice and was successful in 87 of them. Right now, the treatment can only be used to target one specific kind of cancer. It's being tested on mice with lymphoma, breast, colon, and melanoma tumors.
Pretty awesome news there. Obviously, they haven't started on human testing yet. If you followed how the vaccines were made for the coronavirus, then you kind of know a little bit of that process. I wouldn't call that a cancer vaccine because a vaccine is something you take ahead of time to prevent it, like a virus. I'd have to call it something different, but I don't think the word vaccine is the right thing there. Cancer cure is probably the better thing because it goes and actually kills the cancer in your body after it's already there. So that is a promising thing. Let's hope to see more of that on the horizon. Let's hope they continue on that. As if you add in all the different cancers combined, it is the leading cause of death in the world. So that could be a significant breakthrough for us going forward. Also, let our viewers know if you got your third stimulus check today, as the fourth wave of $1,400 stimulus checks. The official payment date is today. A lot of people from the VA, the Veteran Affairs, are expected to receive their direct deposit today. So let our viewers know, let our extended family know if you got it today. If you didn't receive your direct deposit today, it's very likely that you will be receiving it in the mail, or there's a problem with your stimulus check. I'm not sure if there are going to be any more waves of direct deposit. I have not seen any information for that as of yet. Also, payments that are going out include plus up payments. As you can see here, payments distributed in the last week include 1 million plus up stimulus payments, or additional ongoing supplemental payments for people who have already received stimulus checks based on their 2019 tax returns, but are eligible for a new or a larger payment based on their recently processed 2020 tax returns. The IRS will deliver your plus up payment via direct deposit if you received your stimulus payment that way. If not, you may get the supplemental payment by mail. Last week, the IRS sent out 1 million plus up payments totaling more than $2 million. The plus up payments will be sent out in batches to those who qualify for one. So let our family know, our extended community here know, if you got a plus up payment in the last week or two. Plus up payments, there can be a couple different scenarios for that. Number one, if you had a new baby, congratulations, by the way, and you filed a 2020 tax return, and now the IRS knows about the new baby, they can give you a plus up payment for past stimulus checks that could be owed for your new child. So you could get plus up payments because the IRS basically owes you stimulus checks for the new baby, but they didn't know about the stimulus check. Now remember, the other way to you could get a plus up, there's probably a couple different scenarios you can get a plus up payment, but one of the other main ones is if you made over or slightly over the income cap previously in 2019, maybe you got a reduced income, a reduced stimulus check, or no stimulus check at all. But now for you filed your 2020 tax returns and you actually made less money enough to qualify you for a larger stimulus check or a full stimulus check or any kind of stimulus check if you weren't qualified for it before, they can actually go and retroactively send you those stimulus checks because the first two stimulus checks were for the year of 2020 last year. So now you file your 2020 tax returns and you can actually go back and get those stimulus checks. If based on your 2019 you didn't qualify, or you got a lesser check, or your child wasn't on your tax return, now they'll actually go back and retroactively give you these plus up payments because now the IRS has your new 2020 information, and stimulus check 1 and 2 were for 2020. They won't do this for stimulus check number 3 because that is for 2021. So that will be for this year's tax returns that are filed next year after January 1st of 2022. So yeah, but that likely will happen again for 2022. Here's a little trick. You might not know this. I've mentioned this a couple times, but let's just say you claimed your mom as an adult dependent. The first two stimulus checks did not give stimulus checks to adult dependents or college student adult dependents. There's a little trick you can do, but you have to kind of work this out and figure out if you want to do this. But you can go back and actually retroactively get them those checks the same way that we kind of similarly mentioned. You can file a 2020 tax return and not claim them as a dependent, and they can file a tax return then, and then they can get stimulus checks number 1 and 2, because then for 2020, when the 2020 tax returns, when you file them, you're basically telling the IRS that they're not dependent anymore. They're no longer dependent. Now you won't get that dependent tax credit, but they will get stimulus checks 1 and 2. You file for any missing stimulus checks you have. If you're missing out on stimulus check 1 or 2 at this point, you file a tax return, and on line 30, you put the amount that is owed to you. So if you haven't got your second stimulus check yet, you get that by filing a 2020 tax return. And on line 30 on the tax return, put the amount that the IRS owes you for your taxes. Okay. This will also help for going forward for stimulus checks 3 and or 4 if anybody doesn't get them when all is said and done. Remember, they're still going out. They're still going out in the mail. The mail is taking extraordinarily long. Uh, Figure 10 working business days for the check to arrive to you, and that's based off the date the IRS Get My Payment tool has for you. IRS Get My Payment tool, you may need to change your address, or write it in all capitals, or format it, write it, spell it differently, use abbreviations or not, or go check your recent paperwork from the IRS, the last letter they sent you, and see how they spell your address. And put your address in exactly like that. That'll be a good trick for stimulus check number 4 when it comes out, because we just learned that in the last few weeks. And I've had so many people tell me, wow, just putting my address in all capitals finally made the IRS Get My Payment tool give me the information about my stimulus check. And all along, I needed to put it in capitals. So that was a cool little trick we learned, along with getting the address from the IRS and putting it in exactly like that. And just to be clear, because I see this occasionally, if you have any questions about if stimulus checks are taxable, they're not. And I'll just show it to you here in black and white. As you can see here, with the tax season entering the final stretch ahead of the IRS's now May 17th deadline, they have extended it for a month. Americans who receive stimulus checks worth up to $1,200 and $600 from the government may be wondering if Uncle Sam will be taking a cut come tax day. The simple answer is no. Mark Steber, Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt, tells CNBC, none of these stimulus payments are taxable. Okay? Just so we have that in black and white here, your $1,200 and your $600 stimulus check is not taxable on the federal level. Now, let me put an asterisk there because that's on the federal level. I do know there are some states, I don't know them off the top of my head, but there are some states that will actually tax you on your stimulus check on the state level. So they will actually charge you state stimulus tax. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's pretty sad. The other thing to note is that unemployment stimulus checks, or unemployment bonus money, or unemployment pay, that is all taxable. Okay, so that's where some people get confused. Unemployment money is taxable. However, then we kind of have to throw in the $10,200 exclusion which was a really good bonus. And that was because in the third stimulus check package, they added in a nice little provision right at the end. It was one of those things that was uh, negotiated at the very last minute. And this could likely mean an extra $1,000 in your pocket because of this one little provision they threw in the third stimulus check package right at the end. And that is that up to $10,200 of unemployment compensation for the year 2020 is tax free. That's right. I said tax free again on the federal level. Okay. Some states are not honoring this on the state level. Okay. Your state may vary. There's a lot of states. I can't cover them all. It would take me a whole episode. You can look into your state. However, the $10,200 of the federal income tax break that was done for retroactively for 2020 means the average person who got $10,000 of unemployment money, boost money and state money, everything unemployed combined, the average person last year that was on unemployment actually got $16,000. So the majority of people fall under the category of they got the full $10,000. That is $10,200 of tax-free money. So, for example, just for round numbers here, if you made $50,000 last year. Let's say you were employed for half the year, and for half the year you got unemployment. Um, Basically, that just takes your, and let's just say you got $10,000 for round numbers of unemployment. It's going to take your taxable income from 50,000 right down to 40,000. So you're only going to pay taxes on $40,000 instead of $50,000. The average person, this means an extra $1,000 stimulus check in your pocket. It could be more, it could be less, depending on your effective tax rate. But if you are in the 25% tax bracket, that actually could mean $2,500, 25% of 10,000, 10,200. Okay, so you actually could get more than $1,000 back. The IRS says that if you already filed a 2020 tax return before they passed the third stimulus check package and you didn't know about this $10,200 unemployment tax break, that the IRS is going to start in May refunds for this and also processing these $10,200 automatically. So if you already filed a 2020 tax return, the IRS says that starting in May, which is now only 2 weeks away, that they're going to go back and retroactively send you an additional tax refund or an additional stimulus check for the $1,000 or $2,000 or $800 or whatever your number comes out to be based on your taxes for this additional refund or stimulus money. If you filed your taxes after they passed that in the third stimulus check package, a lot of places like TurboTax and TaxAct and Jackson Hewitt have now actually accounted for it ahead of time, so they can actually grab you that refund right away as opposed to you having to wait till May for that. The other thing I want to give you an update for is the monthly stimulus checks. It says for working families here, but it's for all families, whether you're working or not, as long as you make under $150,000 and you have a social security number and you have children. Remember, they have passed the $3,000 to $3,600 child stimulus checks, child income tax credits that the IRS wants to send out as monthly stimulus checks starting in July. And there was some news coming out that this may be delayed. Well, the IRS updated us yesterday here and says from the IRS chief that this will likely not be delayed. As you can see here, the IRS is on track to start sending stimulus enhanced child tax credits to millions of families in July, the agency had said on Tuesday. July is about 2.5 months away. The upbeat prediction from the IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig was a noticeable change from his more hesitant assessment last month when he told a House subcommittee that the agency might not meet the deadline imposed by the Democrats' $1.9 trillion relief package. Quote, we fully expect to launch in July. We expect to launch with payments going out on a monthly basis. So that's good because we weren't sure if they were going to be on monthly basis or a periodic basis. This is coming from the IRS chief, the IRS director there. He said yesterday at a Senate Finance Committee hearing. So it's likely going to be $250 to $300 per month per child. Again, you qualify for this. It's already passed from the third stimulus check package. I get that question all the time. It's already passed. It's already set in stone for 1 year. Okay, the Democrats want to pass this for more than 1 year. Likely in this next infrastructure package, it's one of the additional stimulus provisions. So if you have children, you make less than $150,000 and you have a social security number, you're getting $3,000 for each child you have over the age of 6 through 17. And for children under the age of 6, you're getting $3,600. It looks like the IRS is going to set this up and pay you $250 per month for the 6 months, the second half of the year for children over the age of 6, and $300 per month for children under the age of 6 at the second half of the year. And then likely a one lump sum on next year's tax return, $1,500 for the additional half of the year for children over the age of 6, and for children under the age of 6, $1,800. I hope all my mental math was correct there. Pretty sure it was, but I'm pretty good at math. I can do it on the fly in my head, but occasionally I'll mess up something, and when I do, I'll get like 100 comments saying, "Oh no, no, he messed that up." People in the comments would be like, ahem. Let me know if you know what movie that's from. You know what movie that's from. You're a good movie buff. You're on point. The IRS intends to debut an online portal on July 1st to allow it to send the child tax credit to families periodically this year, but as we know, monthly, as the IRS chief just said, instead of as a lump sum at tax time. They can use the portal to inform the IRS of any changes to their households, any new babies you may have, or to opt out of the monthly payments and just receive the $3,000 to $3,600 as a one lump sum on next year's tax return. So you would be getting this like in March or April next year whenever you get your tax return. That's why the IRS expects about 90% of people to take the kind of advanced money payments. However, he acknowledges the portal might need some upgrade after it's unveiled, noting that it will be, quote, the absolute best product we are able to put together. It is going to be as user friendly as possible, he said, noting other IRS portals were enhanced in the months after launch. There will be a moderately significant authentication process and certain levels of verification required, he said. The agency will monitor the portal to check if people are having difficulties using it. After continuing to see the push for monthly stimulus checks to be included in the next package, more support seems to amp up little by little every single day. And we're nearing now 100 Democrats in the House and the Senate combined that are pushing President Biden to include not just a single stimulus check in the next package, but actually monthly recurring stimulus checks, at least until the pandemic is over, which would be at least 6 or 7 months. The pressure on President Biden is kind of building per day. And the longer we get away from the third stimulus check, the more time that goes on, the more and more likely it becomes that there will be at least a single stimulus check in the fourth round or the fourth stimulus check package, the infrastructure slash stimulus package. If not, reoccurring stimulus payments, aka monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. The highest amount is the $2,000 monthly stimulus check. This is a bill in the Senate proposed by Senators Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. There's another bill in the House of Representatives that's a slightly smaller bill. It's a it's a one-time $2,000 stimulus check followed by $1,000 monthly recurring stimulus payments that go until 1 year after the pandemic is over. So in that case, you're looking at a minimum of 18 months. Say the bare minimum we're looking at until the pandemic is officially declared over is most likely at the end of this year, so 6 or 7 more months. So you'd be looking at 6 or 7 more months until the pandemic is over, and then possibly for 1 year after with this smaller $1,000 monthly recurring stimulus check bill. This is a bill in the House of Representatives. This bill is here in the Senate, and this bill is for $2,000 per month, but it goes until the pandemic is over, which could be at the absolute shortest time, 6 to 7 months. At the longest time, well, who knows? I get some comments from my brother all the time who says, well, the pandemic will never be over. We'll be dealing with this 5 years from now, and they'll still be saying, we got to take vaccines and all this stuff, and the pandemic will never be over. So I guess maybe if that's the case, the $2,000 per month would be better because, well, that's until the pandemic is over. So it'll be interesting to see when they actually get to the point they can even consider declaring the pandemic over. Dr. Fauci says to get to herd immunity, we need about 70% of Americans with the vaccine being vaccinated. We're only at about a third of Americans right now, and the problem is that just one example, about 50% of Republican men do not want to get the vaccine at all. 50% of Republican men. So you got to think our country is roughly, for rough numbers, 50% Democrats and 50% Republicans. It's very close to that, depending on the election. Okay. So 50% Republicans and half of them are men. You're looking at 25% of the country. So that alone would bring us down to 75%. And that's if 100% of everybody else got the vaccines. So that is going to be the problem with herd immunity. And the other problem is that we have now variants and mutations. We actually have a double mutated strain that's in California now. And I personally think that the as this goes on, it's going to become more like the flu vaccine or the flu shot, because every year when you go to get a flu shot, if you get a flu shot, when you get that flu shot every year, it's slightly different strain in there, slightly different vaccine for that year's strain, because the flu shot can be slightly different or have different strains every year. I think it's a very real possibility, just a possibility, that that could happen for the COVID shot. In fact, some people think that if this happens, that they might just combine the flu shots and the COVID shot all together in one. And when you go to get a flu shot, you could get your vaccine for COVID as well at the same time. So let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. I'll have more updates for you throughout the day. There's actually some big news on the horizon that is supposed to happen today. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you up to date here. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I cover different things in different videos, and different stimulus items, and different stimulus items in different stimulus videos. So make sure to not miss out on a video so you don't miss out on anything important. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income by selling products on the Amazon FBA platform. And I teach them how to do that. And me and my wife sell products on Amazon as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.